What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Seventh Man Podcast. Hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for tuning in to episode number 2. Episode number 2. If you haven't seen number 1 or listened to number 1, it should be right there somewhere. I don't know. Week 5, man. What a week of football that we just had. I didn't think it was going to be the week that it was. I didn't think it was going to be as exciting as it was. But, you know, it didn't disappoint. The scores were ridiculous at some games, and I'll get into them here shortly. All right, let's go. Week 5 recap. Sterling City takes down Happy 58-8. Good game, kinda, but not really. Fannondale bounces back 62-0 over Savoy. Santa Ana stays undefeated, beat Medina 65-20. I need your opinions on Santa Ana. Regardless, who you play, winning 5 games in a row is an extremely hard thing to do. Let me know what you think on them. Send me your thoughts. Is Santa Ana underrated? Are they the real deal? Let me know. Dallas Lake Hill on a tight one over Denton Calvary 58-40. That's a good game. Spring Lake Earth over White Deer 47-0. Oakwood beat Bryan Allen Academy 81-52. Cherokee takes down Gap, McCranville's Gap, I call him Gap, 60-35. Water Valley over Borden County 62-22. Borden County, things are fixing to look up for you guys, I have a feeling. Plano, Coram Dio gives Bynum their first loss of the season 46-6. Okay, who's this Plano team? I said it last week. I've never heard of these guys. Can somebody give me some info on them? I know they're 4-0, I think. I think that's what I saw. Last week was the first I had heard of them. I don't even know if I'm saying their name right. So please, somebody tell me. Give me some info on these guys. I want to know more about them. Prairie Larry takes down Buckholz in a good one, 59-50. Groom over McLean, 84-50. Big score. Motley County doing Motley County things, beating Crest 60-8. Plano Chant, good, decent Plano Chant team. Spanks Newman International 63-6. Yeah, I'm going to give these private teams some recognition, man. They deserve it. Coolidge over Avalon in a good one, 54-41. I knew that was going to be a good game. I think I said it last week. Waco Vanguard shuts out Irving the Highlands 50-0. Another beatdown, man. East Texas Homeschool takes out Fruitvale 60-14. Let me tell you something. ETHS is very much improved from last year. I don't know what's happened, but they have gotten better, and I like to see it. Naz takes out Valley in a good one, 30-28. I'd like to be in that game. Throckmorton over Perrin 78-41. That's a little bit closer than what I thought that the game was going to be. I know Throckmorton can score that much. I just didn't think they'd let Perrin score as much as they did. I mean, I know 78-41, it sounds like a blowout, but really it's not. Paducah loses to Follett 38-29. I'm telling you right now, Paducah is underrated. They are a top 10 team, no questions asked. I'm keeping an eye on them. I really like that team. It was a tough, good game. And that's a good loss to have, okay, because Follett is an excellent team. And it's crazy to say that's a good loss. It's something to keep your head up about. You know what you got to improve on. You know what you're capable of. Keep your head up. Keep working. Good job, Paducah. Keep rolling. You guys are a good team. Abbott still undefeated, beating Keene 59-8. Klondike, been underrated this year as well. Klondike's a good team. They took down Buena Vista 83-38. Klondike, easy top 5. No questions asked. Another really good game that popped up was Jonesboro over St. Joe 64-50. That was an extremely tight game from beginning to end. I think the first time I had looked at it, I'll get into the game that I was watching. I think the first time I looked at the score was 44-44, and it kind of got me a little bit. I figured, and I had picked Jonesboro to win. I was pretty sure. I didn't think St. Joe, this is nothing against St. Joe at all, but and I'll get into them. I didn't think St. Joe was going to hang with them as much as they did. But St. Joe is underrated. They're not a top 10 just yet. Possibly top 15, but no doubt in my mind top 20. St. Joe is a good team. I'm ready to see what they do against Union Hill this week. All right, underrated as well. Oglesby beats down Waco Eagle 92-6. 92-6. That's a lot of points on the board. And we're fixing to get into it. This is when it starts getting crazy with the big scores. which I'm sure you guys have already seen them. Fort Worth ESA shuts out Tyler King's Academy 92-0. I want to see the stat lines. I can't find them. Those teams don't post their stat lines. I want to see them for that, and I want to see them for the Oglesby game. I hadn't found them for Oglesby. Another good one. Johnson County Sports, JCSA, beats Stephenville Faith 98-68. Anytime you can get into the 90s, your kids should be super excited about it. That's a lot of work. It's hard to do, but it's really good to see it. JCSA, I think they're underestimated. They're a real good team. I'm telling you, I kind of think they're underrated as well. I think maybe they're second in their division. I have to go back and look and see. I do have, and I'll kind of get into that as well. I do have private rankings, and I'm going to do them. I know I've been saying I'm going to do them. I just haven't got to them because there's so many divisions. I'll talk about that here shortly. Let's go to my game of the week last week. I'm not going to say much about it because I knew it went the way I expected. It was a tight game. Strong over Westbrook, 68-52. Good game. I wish I could have been there. Here we go. The crazy one. And this one in the ranking game, unfortunately, it's going to get more of our attention over the Strong Westbrook game because I think these other two are the most interesting. So let's go. Richland Springs on top, 119-112 over Fort Worth Covenant. That's a basketball score. That was another one because I was focused on another game. It was back and forth all night. It could have went either way, and I think Fort Worth was winning most of the night, or not by quite a bit. But the couple times I was able to check it before the game was over, Fort Worth was winning. Check these stats out. Okay, Fort Worth ran 71 plays for a total of 853 yards. Richland Springs ran 55 for 798 yards. Fort Worth went 30 for 55 passing with 746 passing yards. Richland went 6 for 9 passing for 123. So we see there, Fort Worth is passing. Richland Springs is a run team. Completely opposite, but it worked out perfect. I like the way it ended. But what impresses me the most about this game, as high scoring as it was and as fast as it was, there was one turnover the entire game. One turnover. That's a good clean game, and that's what I like to see. That's one of the best stats from that game for both teams. Fort Worth's Landon Briley threw for 729 yards with 12 touchdowns. Whit Jewett had 17 of those receptions for 504 yards with 9 touchdowns. Crazy. Jaden Bright, Richland Springs, 31 touches on the ground, 523 yards. Ridiculous. 12 touchdowns. Zane Capps had 10 touches for 130 yards and 3 touchdowns. Crazy good game. Wish I could have been there. Those are the games. That's a fun game. The only thing I don't like about is the defense. That's a lot of points. No defense should give up that many points. But that goes back into the 90s and the 80s games too. No defense should give up that many points. As a coach, I kind of have a problem with that. Because you don't want to. It doesn't look good. Yeah, it's a cool game to be a part of, but they're good teams. But that's just something as a defensive coordinator. If you are a defensive coordinator, you don't want to see. You don't want to let your team, your defense, allow that many points. A game I want to talk about, and a team I want to talk about just for a second, is May. Last week I said Rankin was going to win state. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure May has it in the bag. They beat a struggling Blum team 77-14. That's a score your defense wants to, that as a defensive coordinator, that's what you want to see, is only allowing 14 points or a shutout. May is going to win state. I don't see where May can be stopped. If anybody can, it's going to be Rankin, and I don't think they can. No questions asked. I talked to Coach Steele, May's coach, Friday about the team, and he really got me fired up over him. I asked him how he felt about the season so far, and he told me, he said they aren't a finished product yet. That's scary. You have a team that is this good already, and they aren't a finished product. They are a force to be reckoned with. I can't wait to see what they do through district. I can't wait to see what they do through the playoffs, and I can't wait to see what they do in the state championship. And the mentality of his players are off the charts as well. It shows the discipline and the character of the kids that he's put into the kids. That's a good thing to see. They want redemption, and very much understandable. They want redemption after the loss they had last year in the championship game. Rightfully so. He told me the boys are looking at it. They're not focused on the loss, but they see it. They know what they got to do. But they're also taking it, and this is coming from him, they also taking it a game at a time and want to improve weekly. That's a good team. That's good kids. They're motivated. They know what they got to do. They know where they want to get. Like I said last week, our goal is to get that ring. May's going to get it. Okay? Guaranteed May is going to get it. When you have an entire team that has that mentality, you can't beat them. It's a mindset that will take you to the next level. No doubt. Moving on. A game for some reason that I totally got invested in. I got caught up in it, and I neglected a lot of scores over it. Bracken Christian over Rankin 49-45. Thankfully, this is so cool. Rankin has their own sports network, so I can watch it live on my phone. I wish more teams had that because it's pretty cool. I mean, it's cool to let other people out of town, way far off, to be able to watch that game. I wish more schools did it. Now, one thing, I saw several people say it. This was not an upset. This game was not, yes, Bracken won over Rankin. This is not an upset. If you do your homework on a team like Bracken, you'll see exactly how good they are. Don't call it an upset just because they're a private and Rankin is UILD 1. That's no reason. It just tells me I'm not going to say that word that you are, because you do your homework on these guys. All right, look them up, check them out. They're legit. They're the real deal. Bracken is an excellent team. Rankin is one of the best teams in Texas, no questions asked. Bracken is too. Bracken came in, they were ready to go, they were prepared. They were down the entire game except they got the ball first. They scored first possession against Rankin. They threw I think they threw a deep pass. Didn't really catch their corner, and I'll talk about them here shortly. They just one of the receivers got behind defense. Great pass, scored a touchdown. Now let me talk about Rankin for a second. They got a ton of weapons on offense, and they're hard to defend. Braxton Kirkland is one of the best players in D1. He honestly reminds me of Ben Crockett. The way he runs, the way he's built, everything about the kid reminds me of Ben Crockett. He's an excellent player. I like to watch him run. I like the way he handles himself. He's a great player. Also on defense, they probably have the best defensive coverage, pass coverage in D1. Their cornerbacks are locked down, and they do not allow anything deep. They allow that one pass, that one slip up on Bracken's first drive, but after that, there was not a single touchdown on anything deep. And I'd like to see. I wish I could get more game film on them, because I do have the ability to watch more stuff, to watch some game film, but I don't have anything on Rankin. But just from that little bit that I did see, they are locked down. Locked down. You can't get in. You can't get past them. All right, move on to Bracken. Those kids had a lot of fight, and they showed a lot of heart, and I loved it. Again, just because the school is private doesn't mean a thing. All talent-wise, they have or can have just as good as athletes as any other, and this goes for all private schools. They can have just as good athletes as any other team out there. Last week's podcast, I said there are some private schools that are just as good, if not better, than some D1, D2 schools. Bracken proved me right. Again, this is not an upset. Just like Rankin, the weapons are there on offense. Their offense was so simple. I mean, it was easy. They have one of the most simplest offenses I've ever seen, but they run it so well. They execute it, and it's hard when it's executed the way they do it. It's harder to defend. The only thing I want to see different, or I would like to see, is their passing game. The middle was opened up a lot, but they never used it through passing. Their deep routes look like they ran the same route throughout the game. And when you have corners like Rankins, you can't get anything to them. You can't force any kind of pass. They did hit a couple short routes, and it worked for them, but they used the run game mainly. But when you got a kid like Colt Willock running your offense, I'd run him just like Kirkland. I mean, he's a big kid, and he's smart. He made good decisions. For a big guy, he can move. He handled the offense. He did what he did. Well, he did what he needed to do. Now, this wasn't just Colt. The entire offense, the entire team played an excellent game. So I'm not saying Colt is the only reason why they won, but he's a big part of it. Okay, and all in all, it was a good, clean game. Rankin was tired. They were wore out. Their commentators kept saying they didn't expect the game was going to go the way it did. They were expecting to go home early. And for some reason, a lot of people did, and that goes back to not doing your homework on Bracken. What helped Bracken, and when I think they were their best, was when they were in their hurry-up offense. It really wore Rankin down. Those guys were tired. The 2 possessions that they ran it, their hurry-up, they scored on. And Rankin fumbled twice the possessions after that and lost both of them. Those 2 turnovers are what caused Rankin to lose. You put those 2 teams together 10 times, and it can go either way all 10 games. Both are really good, and I still got Rankin at my number 2 team in state Division 2. Division 1. They're going to give they're right there. But I'd really like to see Bracken play May. That would tell me exactly where Bracken ranks and exactly how good they are. Because, again, May is just, they're unbelievable. I'm not going to get into rankings too much because I haven't put them out yet. Like I said last week, I like to do them on Saturday before anyone else does, but I went to 3 11-man Pee Wee games on Saturday, so I wasn't able to get them out. I posted a picture of those Pee Wee games on my Instagram, and it's fun to watch, but it's just too many kids on the field for me. I'm not used to it. But pretty much, May, of course, is number 1 in D1. I really got to look at my D2 again to see if Strawn is still going to be on top or if Motley County is going to move up for me. I know everybody's different. Like I said, I do have a mathematical equation that I use, and I do use common sense on it. I know I've been saying I'm going to get private school rankings out, and I am. I just haven't had a chance to. That one takes a little bit more time for me because there's so many divisions. So I don't know if I want to put them all together and rank them all or just do all the divisions separately like we do D1 and D2. But speaking of the private schools, they aren't hard to cover. Just do your homework. Ask around. The info's out there on them. You just got to look for it. Don't be scared to ask because they're good. They deserve the attention just like D1 and D2 do. They work hard just like D1 and D2. They do the same stuff just like D1 and D2. Give them some respect. They deserve it. I was actually this week going to get into some defensive schemes, just do something a little different in formations this week, but I don't want to get – if I got into it, I'd be here for 2 hours trying to talk about it. I was going to talk about the 4-2, a 5-1, and I wanted to see if anybody runs a 2-2-2 anymore. I hadn't seen anybody do it, but I want to know – I know some of the coaches know a 2-2-2. I want to know if you younger guys do. I see a 3-3 some. I see a 3-1-2 some. But I was just curious about the 2-2-2. It's pretty cool. It's easy to run over, or in some cases, it's hard. It's hard to score on. It's hard to run on. I wanted to go over how you guys defend the Jaybird, what formation. I want to talk about how I defended it and how it actually worked pretty well. Think about that. And hopefully we'll be able to go over it next week. So with that being said, let's go week 6, do a week 6 preview. Guys, it's almost district time. It's almost a new season. When it comes to district, it is a new season. Those are the games that matter, like I said last week. A lot of teams have buys this week or next week or maybe even a week after that. I like to have in mind week 6, week 5 or week 6. It gives the kids a little bit of a break. They're halfway through. But it also gives them a week or 2 to get going in the district. I like to have them a game or 2 before district starts. That way they're back in their routine. It's a new season. They got to be ready. Have got to be ready to go. So let me roll up to it. There we go. Valley at Jonesboro. I'm taking Jonesboro. I really like them. They're a good team this year. Morgan at Borden County. Okay, I got Borden County is going to win this game. They're going to get their first win this week. And again, Borden County is going to win out. They're going to be 5-5, just like I said on the podcast last week. I said after this week, week 5, they were going to lose it. Then they were going to win week 6, and the rest of the year, they're going 5-5. All right, we'll see here shortly. Rankin's going to bounce back over Canyon, no questions asked. Texas School for the Deaf over New Brunswick Christian. I want to see this School for the Deaf play. They're a good, solid team. I've heard good things about them, but I want to see them. I want to see them live. St. Joe over Union Hill. Like I said this past week, it's going to show us where Union Hill is. I kind of went off on a rant about them last week. But again, St. Joe is underrated. But I got St. Joe winning this. I really think they're going to do some damage on them. I don't think Union Hill is going to be able to stay with them. Calvert over Bryan St. Joseph. I still have not got an answer on why Calvert's game was canceled. I'm concerned for them. They have a lot of open weeks this year. They hadn't got much playing time. I can't put them in the rankings either. They've played one game this year. Yeah, we know they're good. They've been good. They're always going to be good. But the sample size for it is way too small compared to everyone else. So I'm not going to put, say, Calvert at number 10, and I'm just going to use Richland Springs because I got Richland Springs at 10, I think. I'm not going to bump them down to 11 just because it's Calvert. I'm not even putting them in there at all. It's not fair to every other team that's been working their tail off. I got to see exactly what Calvert can do, get some stats up, see the record, and go from there. Carrollton Prince of Peace at Plano Coram Deo. I'm not going to call that game. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I want to know what Plano is about. So that's the only game I'm not going to call. Followed over Silverton, Balmorhea over Fort Davis, Groom over Miami. I'm taking Evan over Blanket. I think they're going to take it. Lameda over Iredale. That's going to be a decent game. Westbrook over Garden City. That could be my game of the week. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. Tyler Heat over Fruitvale. Tyler Heat is having a bit of a down year. Coach Riggs left. His son graduated as well, and he was a stud. He was a good kid. Small, but he was fast, and he could run the ball. Sterling City over Eden. No questions asked. Baird over Looters. That's going to be a good game as well. Brian Allen over Sugarland Prep. Naz over Whitedale. Another good game. Fort Worth, THESA over Milford. I want to see exactly how. I'm going to keep an eye on this one. I want to see how many points they can put over Milford. I know Milford's game got canceled last week. I don't know why. I just seen it was. But I want to see what Fort Worth can do. It's a good team. Very good team. Klondike over with Harrell. Oglesby over Waco Live Oak. That's going to be a good one. Spring Lake over Croyle. A really good one is going to be Anton and Paducah. Again, I'm going to go with Paducah. I'm on the Paducah train, like I said. They're good team. Really good team. I'm keeping an eye on them. I want to move them up, and I think they're worth it. But this week is going to tell me a lot. Paducah over Anton. I think Bonham's going to bounce back over Gap. Again, man, I'm still shocked that they have the record that they have. Now, this might be the game of the week as well. I just can't decide. Strong at Fort Worth Covenant. I'm curious to see how Fort Worth is going to handle Rigdon. I'm going to go with Strong. Yeah, Fort Worth put a whole ton of points up against Richland Springs. I just want to see how Strong handles them. But again, I don't think they can handle Rigdon, so I'm going with Strong. Roby at Jayton is going to be a good one as well, but I'm thinking Jayton's going to take it. Plano Chant and Johnson County Sports. You're probably going to hear me talk about them because I really like that team. Those two teams are right there together, but I think JCSA is going to take it. I may be able to head that and watch that game. That'd be a cool one to go to and watch. I really hope this week is just as good as week 5 because there's some good matchup that I didn't mention well. I'm going to preach to you players just for a second, and I hope you guys take this into consideration. It's something I always told my players, and I'm sure your coaches have told you, and it's to be a leader. Please don't tune me out. Please listen. Please. Don't be a leader just on the field. Be one every second of your life. And I'm not talking about just at school. It starts outside of school. We're six-man football, which means most of our towns are tiny, small. That also means everybody knows your business. Everybody knows you. Everything about you. They know you're a football player. Watch what you do. Watch what you say. Do not give anyone a negative reason to talk about you or your team, because believe it or not, it reflects on your school, reflects on your team, and it reflects on your coach. And that's not a good thing. Watch what you put in your bodies. Everything you eat, drink, or anything else you do is going to affect what happens tomorrow, believe it or not. That goes for everything, though. Watch what you do. It's going to affect tomorrow. Watch what you put on social media. Please, I'm begging you. If you do anything, please. If you want to go to a college, play ball, or any kind of scholarship or do anything, colleges look at that stuff. They want to see what type of person they're investing in. You will be their investment. One of the biggest highlights of my coaching career, and this happened last season, sending a kid on a full-ride football scholarship to a college in Wisconsin. Guess what he did? He lost it 2 weeks before the season started. Why? All because he put something stupid on Snapchat. That's a slap to the face. We worked hard for that kid. He was a good kid, good player. He had a stupid moment, and now he has nothing to show for everything he's worked for in high school. That hurt. That hurt as a coach. Be a leader at school. The elementary kids, the junior high kids, every single one of those kids look up to you. Elementary kids idolize you. They'll walk through the hall or whatever, if you're in the same building or whatever. They're going to say, oh, hey, there's Rigdon, there's Caps, there's Willock, there's Etheridge, whoever you are. They want to be you. They want to know you. Being a football player is probably the coolest thing ever. And to see a football player is the coolest thing ever. Show them that leadership. Take the time to talk to them. Give them a high five. Just pay them some attention. Show them what kind of person you are. And they're going to want to be you. Just make sure it's in a positive reason for them to be you. Junior high kids, they're playing football, as we know. They're going to try and copy everything that you do. So be a leader for them. Show them what you do and not to do by doing it yourself. Don't give them any reason to do something stupid, because they're going to follow you and do exactly everything that you do. Then it bleeds off into the locker room. You may think, this guy's ridiculous. This guy's stupid. And, this is how I feel, but I guarantee you there's a lot of people that are going to agree with me. There's a lot of coaches that are going to agree with me as well. It's a simple thing for you to do. Keep your locker clean. Colleges look at this as well. I promise. If you do it, the person that is next to you, they're going to do it. Those couple freshmen that are around you, they're going to do it. Again, whatever a leader does, you will be followed in a positive or a negative way. Let's make it positive. Always think about that. Somebody's going to be watching you. Somebody's going to want to follow you. Then it goes on. Finally, it goes onto the field. Guys, lead the way. If you're a captain, your coach chose you for a reason. He chose you because he sees the potential and the trust for you to lead the team. Just like everywhere else, you're going to be followed. Just make sure it's followed in the right direction. Okay? So with that being said, I'm done with that. Just please take that into consideration for yourself and your team and your family. Don't embarrass yourself. Please. I'm fixing to wrap this up. Be done with it. Again, hopefully next week I can get into some defensive talk, and then hopefully after that we'll get into some offense. Send me your opinions on anything. If you haven't already followed me on Instagram, handles Texas Six Man Talk, give me a follow. Guys, shoot me a DM. Shoot me a message. If you got a question, want to tell me I suck, tell me whatever, shoot it to me. Let me know. I'm good with it. My inbox blew up this week, and I responded to every single person that sent me a message. What made me feel good and what I thought was really cool, and especially being a coach, it gave me that good feeling again. I had one person message me, and I talked to him for a bit, and I gave him some advice. After their game, they lost that game, by the way. After that game, he shot me a message, and he said, hey, thanks. He thanked me because of what I told him It helped him in the game. That was his exact words. Thanks for the advice. I think it was thanks for the advice. It really helped me in the game. Guys, I'm here for y'all. I'm doing this for y'all. I'm here to help and do whatever I can. Okay? If you want to talk about something, let me know. We'll talk about it. It can be anything. Again, like I said last week, if I don't mention your team, I'm sorry. I want to get as much coverage to everyone as possible. I'm gonna try and get this off YouTube. I just can't find a host, a platform that I want to put this on. I'm gonna try and get a video feed. That way you can see my pretty face, which I know you guys want to. I'm sure. I'm gonna start trying to bring people on and actually have a good conversation and everything related to football. That's it. I want to get some guys. I want to get some coaches on. I want to get some players on, and just make it bigger. Guys, thanks for the support. It's been amazing. This has been going. This is the second podcast, but I started this I think 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and it's blowing up. And I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. Guys, give me a like, dislike, comment, subscribe. Do whatever you want to do. Shoot me a message. Follow on Instagram at Texas 6 Man Talk. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you at a game near you.